Can you actually retire at 62 with just £150,000 saved up? That's the question so many people are asking right now, and honestly, it's not as far-fetched as it might sound. But whether it's realistic or not depends on a bunch of factors that go way beyond just the size of your retirement pot. We're talking lifestyle, monthly spending, whether you're on your own or with a partner, if you own your home or still rent. It all plays a role. Now I've got to be real with you. A lot of folks think retirement means saving a big lump sum and then just chilling. But that mindset is dangerous, because once you stop working, that money is all you've got to live on. So the real question isn't just, is £150,000 enough? It's how long can I stretch that money without stressing every month? So first things first. How much do you actually need to live on each month once you retire? Some people live on £1,200 a month just fine. Others need double that to feel comfortable. There's no magic number. It all depends on you. If you're renting, that alone could take half your monthly budget. If you love eating out, traveling, or have expensive hobbies, your costs are going to rise quick. Now imagine you've got £150,000 in your pension. You retire at 62. You've got 5 years before the state pension kicks in. That means for 5 full years, all your money has to come out of your savings. That's a serious chunk of change being used up fast, and it's only after that point the government support starts rolling in. The biggest mistake people make is assuming their spending will magically go down when they retire. Maybe you won't be commuting anymore, but other costs rise. You've got more free time, so you'll probably spend more. Healthcare costs go up. You want to enjoy yourself, travel, hobbies, little luxuries, and all of that adds up fast. So no, this isn't about fear. It's not doom and gloom. It's just the truth. If you want that £150,000 to work for you, you need to be strategic. You can't just leave it sitting in a savings account and hope it stretches. You need a game plan. And that's what we're building here. A realistic plan with realistic numbers, so you know exactly where you stand. But let's pause and really think about it. Is that £1,300 covering rent? Because if you're renting, even modestly, a third to half of that could be gone before anything else. Council tax, gas, electric, water, groceries. Those don't go away just because you've retired. And if you want a phone, internet, a Netflix subscription, or literally anything fun, those costs stack up too. And we haven't even touched healthcare. And here's what a lot of people don't realize. The earlier you retire, the more years your money has to last. That means more pressure on every pound, especially in your 60s when you're still fairly active and probably want to enjoy life a little. So let's say you're someone who likes to go out to eat now and then, maybe take a short trip twice a year, treat the grandkids, or just have a nice cushion in case the boiler breaks, or you need a new car. That £1,300 might not stretch the way you hope, the way you... The good news is it's all doable, but only if you're honest about your situation. Now let's say you're committed to retiring at 62, that's the plan, and you're willing to make lifestyle adjustments to make it happen. Then it's all about smart budgeting. That means cutting back on subscriptions you barely use, cooking more at home instead of eating out, shopping with intention instead of impulse buying. Even small savings can stack up when you're consistent. Every pound you save now is a pound that can stretch further later. And if you still have time before 62 hits, that's golden, because you've got time to invest a bit more, maybe top up your pension or throw extra cash into a stocks and shares ISA to give it time to grow. When we run the same kind of projection, factoring in conservative investment growth, that couple could expect to pull in around £2,100 a month combined. That's a big difference from the £1,300 the single retiree gets. Why? because they're sharing expenses, one roof, one set of utility bills, one car between them if they play it smart. All of a sudden, that money goes further, and here's the other win. When you got two people, you get two state pensions. Once both partners hit 67, they'll each bring in nearly £900 a month in state pension. That's close to 1,800 total just from the government without touching their pension pots anymore. But let's be clear, then, it's not a free pass. £2,100 a month might sound solid, but if they're still paying rent or helping someone else financially, it can still get tight. That's why planning is just as important, even when things look a bit more comfortable. The other thing couples should think about is what happens if one of them passes away. It's not a fun topic, but it's real. Losing a partner means losing one state pension, losing one tax-free allowance, and possibly losing a second income stream. So even if everything looks fine today, they've got to think long-term and build in some protection for the future. Smart couples also look at ways to keep contributing even in their 50s and early 60s. If one or both of them are still working part-time or doing something they enjoy that brings in a little income, they can extend their financial runway and delay dipping into their savings for just a bit longer. That's a powerful move. Let's say you're sitting on £150,000 and you're thinking this just isn't going to be enough. Good news, you're not stuck. There are moves you can make right now that could seriously stretch that money and give you more financial freedom later. First thing you want to look at, pension consolidation. Over the years, most people pick up little pension pots from different jobs. You might not even remember how many. Some have high fees, others aren't performing well, and most are just sitting there doing the bare minimum. By consolidating them into one well-managed plan, you could lower your fees, get better returns, and finally have a clear view of what you actually have. It's like cleaning out the junk drawer, except it could save you thousands. Now, some people worry that combining pensions is risky, like putting all your eggs in one basket, but a good modern pension lets you choose multiple investment funds inside one platform. So really, you're just putting your eggs into a stronger, better designed basket. Second move, salary sacrifice. This one's for anyone still working. You agree to take a lower salary and your employer puts the difference into your pension instead. Why does this matter? Because it cuts your tax bill. You pay less income tax and less national insurance, and more of your money goes straight into your retirement pot. Plus, a lot of employers will match what you put in. Free money, basically. Now here's another strategy that a lot of people overlook. Delaying retirement, even working just 2 or 3 more years, could make a huge difference. That's more time to save, more time for your investments to grow, and fewer years your pension needs to cover. Let's say you push retirement back to 65 instead of 62. You get 3 more years of savings and growth, and you only need your pot to last 25 years instead of 28. That alone could add thousands in extra income later on. And if you can't or don't want to stay in your current job. Now let's talk about investment strategy. Inflation is like a slow leak in your savings. If your money isn't growing, it's shrinking. That's why you don't want to just leave it all in cash. Low risk? Sure, but low return too. Over time, inflation will eat away at the value of that £150,000. Instead, think about growth-focused options. Stocks and shares, ISAs, low-cost index funds, diversified portfolios. Historically, these have outperformed cash accounts, especially over the long haul. If you're still 5 to 10 years out from retiring, that's plenty of time to get solid growth, as long as you're not taking wild risks. A balanced long-term approach is key. Some people even explore property. It's not for everyone, but if done right, rental income can give you another source of steady cash in retirement. Just make sure you know what you're doing. because being a landlord comes with its own headaches. The main idea here is this: don't leave your money idle, get it working. And don't wait until the year you retire to think about all this. The earlier you take action, the more options you'll have. And even if you feel like you're starting late, you're not too late. This is why retirement isn't just about can I afford it, it's also what am I retiring to, because if all you do is unplug from work without plugging into something else, that freedom can start to feel like drifting. You need something that keeps you grounded, something to look forward to. It doesn't have to be some big grand mission. It could be travel, volunteering, a new hobby, spending more time with family, starting a side project, teaching, gardening, writing a book. Doesn't matter what it is, just that it matters to you. And this is where that £150,000 matters too, is not just to pay bills, but to give you options. Freedom isn't just about quitting your job. It's about waking up and doing what you actually want to do, without anxiety whispering in the back of your head every time you tap your card or book a train ticket. And look, don't underestimate the emotional side of it either. A lot of people carry their identity in their work, the job title, the career, the responsibility. Stepping away from that can feel like losing a piece of yourself, even if you were burned out and counting the days. That's why it helps to think about retirement as a new chapter, not the end of the book. You're not winding down, you're switching gears. You're finally giving yourself the space to live life on your terms. But to really enjoy that chapter, you've got to ride it. You can't just sit around and wait for it to entertain you. Retirement isn't some fantasy land where everything just falls into place the day you stop working. It's real life, just lived on your terms. That means getting serious about your numbers, tracking what you actually spend, knowing what brings you joy and what just drains your money, being honest with yourself about what you can live without and what you absolutely can't. It also means letting go of other people's expectations. Maybe your friends are aiming for £500,000. Maybe your cousin wants to retire in Bali. That's their journey. Yours is yours. And if £150,000 gets you out of a stressful job into a slower life and lets you spend more time doing what you love, that's a win.